What's going on, average Joe readers? Today, I wanted to tell you about my summer reading plan. This video is, but also isn't going to be a TBR video. I don't make actual TBRs or actual TBR lists or strict lists, anything like that. I make priority tiered lists. So if you're new around here, I've done that a few times. I did it at the very beginning of the year for my plan. I did an update one in like March or April. So I do priority tiered lists. So I have a somewhat of a kind of a ranking of these are my priority main reads I want to get to first. And then I have my secondary reads that I'll fill in after in between the primary ones. And then might have some other ones that could just be thrown in randomly. And I also leave room for mood reading because to me, reading is a lot about the mood you're in, the mood you're feeling, depending on what a book might put you through. And you might want to do something different. If you've been heavy into the epic fantasy, you might want to switch to sci-fi or thriller. You kind of never know, and I don't like pigeonholing myself to an actual TBR strict list. I know some people like that organization. I'm not a fan of it, so I like wiggle room and for plans to kind of be curved. But I also have priority lists still, so that I still have an idea and a goal of what I'm going to. So my number one priority, top thing that I'm going to read this summer and start finally is the Chronicles of the Black Company. I mentioned this a few videos ago that I am planning on doing this read, and I'm inviting anybody else to join. There is a read along channel going on in Mike's Book Reviews Discord, and there's a good amount of people in that that are going to be reading along. How they are breaking it up is they're going to do one book a month for the next 10 months, and while that's not a bad plan, each book is only like 250 pages, kind of. I plan on just kind of going through the omnibuses as I see fit. I'm going to see how it goes, but how the series is structured is, and how the bindings are be if you buy the physical copies is there are four actual binding of books, and in those four bindings of books, there's books within those. So book, the first omnibus has three books, and that entire omnibus is like less than 800 pages. So to me, that's just like one epic fantasy book, but that is three books in there. So they're breaking those up to one each month. I'm gonna see how I feel about the first ones. This series was a huge influence on the Malazan books. So, and I know those are super complicated. So I don't know how heavy or complicated this series and world is going to be. If it's going to jump around a lot between characters and settings and all that stuff. So I'll read the first one, and then I plan to have other books in between the books. But I'm not sure if I'm going to limit myself to just one book per month. I think it'll probably take me, 6 to 8 weeks to read the first omnibus. So that's the first three books, and then that's kind of going to be my plan: one omnibus every 2 months. We'll see. Either way, this summer I will be reading the first book in the Chronicles of the Black Company. It's been a long time coming, and I definitely want to commit to it. And pretty excited to start that. I've been in a pirate mood for some reason. Next one. Now this I was going back and forth on for a while, and I originally had a plan to do Robin Hobb books to finally start the Realms of the Elderlings in June. But because I'm doing Black Company, that's kind of taken precedence. And although I can still put this read in between those books, because I've heard they're decently easy to read, but they are very long. So I don't know if I want to have such long books in between. And my wife just finished the first trilogy of Realm of the Elderlings, and some of the things she said kind of almost put me off on it. I mean, I'm still excited to read it, and I really want to, but she just told me how frustrating and how much of an idiot Fitz is, which I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, but either way, I know I'm going to read it either way. I just know that they're really big books, and I have some other ones that I think I'm going to want to fit in between. So I think what my main trilogy that I'll fit in between the Black Company is the Powder Mage trilogy. Lately I've been in the mood for Flintlock fantasy. I haven't really read any, but Alan over at the Library of Alexandria has been talking up Flintlock a lot. He just read one that got me jazzed to read Flintlock. And I know I've owned Powder Mage for a long time. It's been on my radar for a long time. So I figured, why not? This might be a great time to put it in. It might, I don't know how closely related or what it's going to be like compared to Black Company. I feel like Black Company, they're still going to have, swords and guns and stuff like that same, powder type, Revolutionary War type guns. I have no idea. So we'll see how close or how related they are. Not that they're saying they're the same at all, but just going back and forth. Usually you like to have two different ones to completely change gears. But yeah, that's my plan. And this is over the summer, not just June. So Robin Hobb might fit in there over the summer, and I'm going to go in between. So I'm probably only going to choose one, but it's going to be either be Robin Hobb or Anthony Ryan. Anthony Ryan is another author that I've owned for a while, and I've actually owned and had his books on my radar before Robin Hobb. I own, I don't know what it is. It's the Raven Cycle or something. Something with ravens is the one I own the first two on, and I know they're doing some buddy reads. I know Julian Reeds is doing a buddy reads with some people, and they're going through his books. I wanted to go through his books. I've heard good things. He's still kind of a under the radar, it seems, author in the booktube space. So I really want to get into it. Makes me want to read him even more to just bring them to light. This might be my last month or so. At some point in the summer, I might discontinue Kindle Unlimited, even though I am the Kindle Unlimited guy. But I've said in the past that I like to do it in spurts. You know, you do it for a couple of months, especially because I got 3 months free already. So you do it for a couple of months, and then you can just switch it off and then come back later and then pick it back up and do a bunch. Because I own so many Kindle books right now, like actually own through deals, and anytime they have flash sales or the I am definitely a sucker for spend 25, earn 25 back in credits. So I do those all the time. So I've been racking up books, and I've been reading Kindle Unlimited books also. So those shelves are filling up. So I think it's safe for me to back off of it until maybe over the holidays or something. But before I do that, I know I need to and want to read Stones of Light, which is the sequel to Voice of War, which I just released my um, review of that just this past couple days. So that I definitely want to get to. And there's a couple of audiobooks that I'm going to read as well, just so I can bide my time over on Audible so that my credits can start to stack up a little bit, because I've kind of ran out of books on Audible. I've ran out of credits. So a Kindle Unlimited doing a couple of those audiobooks is an easy way to fill in until you need to get more credits. So Stones is Light. And then also this summer, I will be reading the next Star Wars Legends where I'm at. I just finished last week the Fatal Alliance, which is my third one in the Legends read through that I'm doing. There's some before Riven was the first one that I did. There's some before that, but I'm just counting that as the first. So just finished Fatal Alliance. Next one I'll move on to is Annihilation, and then after that I'll be able to get into the Darth Bane saga or series, which everybody seems to be their favorite. It's either Darth Bane or Thrawn. One of those two are the main two that pop up all the time. So really excited to get into that. I think there's one that comes between. I think it's called Knight Errant, which I also own. So hopefully I can get to some of those in the summer, and then I can continue my video series on reading through the Star Wars universe. So those are my Kindle books that I want to get through, because if you didn't know, I do 3 books at once. I'm always reading a Kindle book, a physical book, and a audiobook. So those are my Kindle books for the summer. Now getting on to my physical books, I have less that I picked out. And that's purely because a lot of times when it comes to Kindle books, or physical books, it's very much mood reading when it comes to physical, and that is because I can see the books, I can touch them, I can see the covers, I can look into them more, I can pick them up and like weigh them. I can just go it feels much more spontaneous to be able to just go pick up a book in wherever my shelves are at than going through my Kindle and trying to search through my Kindle and seeing what I have. The colors and I'll pick up my app. Even so, I just scrolling through, they're not very organized. It's just whatever order in that I purchased them. So going through my bookshelves and being like, you know what, I wanted to read this. That's the plan. It happens much more on the physical, but I do have some of them I want to get to. First and foremost, I need to finish Count of Monte Cristo. That book is the bane of my existence, or I don't know. It is so long. I still have 400 pages left. I started it in March. I will finish this summer, though. It's going to happen. As I keep saying, I'm still liking parts of it. I still like it and the overarching plots, but there's just too much filler. There's just too much extra crap that I don't care about. I would have loved to read the abridged version, and that's probably what I'm going to recommend, but some people still like the drawn out version. Yeah, so I need to finish Count of Monte Cristo. I've been throwing in some other things in between. Like I just read my first Hercule Poirot book, and now I'm reading The Mist. But those two books combined, I don't even think they're 400 pages. So after the count, or in between the count, whatever it is, I will read another Agatha Christie book, specifically Hercule Poirot's. My wife and I both read a single book, a single Hercule Poirot book, the same book, the Murder of Roger Ackroyd, and now we have like 9 or 10 Perot books. We just keep ordering them, even though we've only read one. We just want the series and we want to start from the beginning, and we just love murder mysteries. So they are definitely our jam. So I'll get into that. Then Insomnia. I want to get more into Stephen King. And like I said, I am on The Mist right now. I'm trying to continue my Dark Tower or multiverse read through. It's been stalled, very, very stalled, because all the Stephen King that I own is physical. And I did start the Count of Monte Cristo, which is taking me forever. So I have The Mist, I have Insomnia that I want to read, and then end of year, the goal is to finish The Stand. But I think I need to read or want to read Insomnia before I pick up The Stand. It's still indifferent. This is still pretty big. I mean, it's like 800 pages, almost 700. Yeah. So this is probably still going to be my plan to do Insomnia before I do The Stand. And then I also want to do Recursion. Wanted to get into Blake Crouch. Everybody loves Dark Matter. Mike from Mike's Book Reviews absolutely ranted and raved about Dark Matter. I think it might have been his favorite book of a month or on the year or whatever. I don't know. But Recursion is right up there with it. I know they're both eerily similar, like well, a lot of people say. So I own this one, and this is one I really want to get to, a sci-fi thriller, mind-bending type thing. It sounds like a fantastic palate cleanser. And then randomly, like I said, it's mood reading. So we own a whole bunch of thrillers and mysteries downstairs in our main library, but I could see myself just picking up a thriller randomly because I'll just be in the mood for it. And now finally getting into my Audible choices. So I just started Atlas Gene, which has been on my list for a very long time. And I saw that it has the audiobook included with the Kindle Unlimited. So it's on Kindle Unlimited, but also as I mentioned in my video about Kindle Unlimited, that if it has the headphones next to it, that means the audiobook is included in Audible. And so I'm doing the audiobook of the Atlas Gene. I just started it today. I'm about an hour and a half through, and I'm already pretty interested. And I know Leslie really liked the Atlas Gene. She ranted and raved about it. So I started it because I was already like halfway there, and then her review or her endorsement of it just kind of pushed me over the edge. And that means I might roll right into Atlas Plague, which is book 2. So I'll kind of knock out the first two. Hopefully, I like them while I still have my Kindle Unlimited membership because they are concluded. So being smart there. I own White Knight. That's where I'm left off at with the Dresden Files. So that's the next book that I'm on there. At some point over the summer, I will continue it. I've mentioned in the past that I think I'm going to start drawing out Dresden a little bit more because White Knight is the 10th book, I believe, and there's only 17 so far, only 17. But I don't know, we don't know when the 18th book is going to come out. These books are starting to space out more, so I don't want to catch up to the series and then have like a 2-year delay of waiting for the next book. I just hate waiting. Either way, White Knight's coming up. Then because I do nonfiction once a month, this is kind of like a half recommendation and a half one of them that I'm going to get to. We just finished and reviewed Why We Get Sick, and this is a fantastic book. It's all about why you get sick. There's a lot about nutrition and health and all these different health problems that you can get from um, being insulin resistant and all these very carby, sugary diets. And there's a lot of good messages overall. And our book review that we did for the website that I work for, we talked about all these things. So that is a very good book that I highly recommend in the health and nutrition space. And the next one I'm going to consume would be the Good Calories, Bad Calories. It is mentioned in Why We Get Sick, and I've heard of it before, Good Calories, Bad Calories, but it's another one that I want to dive into. I really like food, and I think this one goes into the food industry, which is also very interesting. And I definitely recommend looking into food industry and some of the, you know, bad marketing terms and practices and like very low standards that a lot of places like the US have. So Good Calories, Bad Calories. I know these are very unsexy books, but it is an interest of mine that I keep up with on health and nutrition and all that stuff. So if it's something that you like, those are mine. And I'm not sure what other nonfiction we'll be doing over the summer. And I mean, those are only 4 audiobooks that I'm going to get to. And I usually do 2 a month, 2 or 3 a month, 2.5, depending on length. So we'll see what happens when I get to. It all depends on what credits I have available as well, because I think I'm out right now after buying Good Calories, Bad Calories. But anyway, I want to know what your summer reading plans are. What are some of your priority reads that you must get to, that you really want to get to, a high priority for the summer? And what are some other ones that might be some wild cards that you're throwing in? Let me know down in the comments. And if you have any interest in reading some of these and joining me, let's chat about it there.